And welcome. I'm glad to see all of you here.
Crystal is signing on again, so she might not quite be with us yet. She was having some technical difficulties, so we'll skip on down to Julie.
Hello, welcome. I'm Julie Dunks, and I'm the Director of the Compliance and Contracts for the Western ECSN region.
And there, Nancy Sirrigoyens. I introduced myself already, so we'll go down to Maria.
And I am Maria Cook. I'm the Early Childhood Professional Learning Specialist with the Eastern Early Childhood Support Network. I'm one of them, and the next one's going next. So,
Hi, I'm Brenda Woods, and I am Maria's sidekick as an Early Childhood Professional Learning Specialist for the Eastern ECSN.
And Crystal, have you joined us again? She's coming in right now from the waiting room, so we'll give her just a minute.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. You want to introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm trying it again. Oh, it looks like I might be good this time around.
Okay, perfect. So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Crystal Johnson, and I am the Training and Technical Assistance Manager for Southeast ECSN. Happy to be here today.
And just so everyone knows, we are recording this call. Crystal, do you want to talk about this one?
I will. So good afternoon again. Our purpose for today's meeting is to, one, of course, build community amongst us all. We'll be sharing updates with you and looking to hear some information from you as well. And finally, we're hoping to gain ideas, knowledge, information, tips and tricks from one another while we're here today. So that will be our purpose for today's meeting.
So we're going to start with a quote for the day. I thought this was very appropriate for our group today. It's from Helen Keller. Alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. We really hope that we can build a strong parent liaison community across the state, that we can share ideas and learn from each other and not reinvent the wheel. That just comes of community to help one another and gather information for each of our parent coalitions. So.
And just to go through some community agreements for our time together today, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat box. It lets us know who's here. We can see your screen name with your picture, or if you don't have your video option running, but it's great to see in the chat box to know who's here. There will be an inclusion activity shortly. Cameras can be on or off. It's nice for community building to see everyone's faces, but it's not required to keep your camera on. For some of you that might be in more remote areas, if you are having some technical difficulties, sometimes with Zoom, it is helpful for you to turn your video off. This meeting will be recorded, so feel free to ask questions as we go.
Sorry, it's my technical error.
No, you're fine. And then just most importantly, thank you for joining us today. We're really excited to get everyone together, and I know that everyone is sort of getting settled with all this different setting and just different roles as parent liaisons with everything that's going on. So we're excited to have you here today.
All right, this is Rachel again. We're going to do our inclusion activity. I don't know if many of you have used Mentimeter before, but if you guys could go to menti.com, it's on your screen. You can do this on your phone. I'm going to do it right now as well. So if you can pull up menti.com. Once you get to menti.com, you'll be prompted to enter a code. At this time, I need you to enter 430284. Looks like that, and then hit submit. I'm going to share my screen here in just a second, but we want to know how you're feeling today. We're all across the state. Weather is different. Our workloads are all different. So we have a couple of choices on this Menti. Are you feeling tired? You need a break? Are you happy, excited about something? Are you just feeling kind of relaxed and calm and chill right now? So menti.com, code 430284. And then I'm going to share my screen. So all of you will be able to see everyone who is participating. And hopefully you guys can all see it right now. Ooh, we've got a lot of tired and need a break. Oh, I'm feeling ya. Looks good. Okay, we have 33 people participating so far. I think we had about 40 on the call.
Yeah, we had 40 participants, so we got about
Awesome.
4.
We've got 34, 35, awesome. We still have results coming in.
Looks like some people are changing their answers.
Yes, 36. So as you guys are entering your poll right now, I just want you to take a moment to think about how you're feeling. Take a deep breath. We're really excited that you are on this phone call for our first ever statewide meeting. And then if you can get into our space right now so that we can all be together. We recognize half of you are tired and need a break. And we're hoping today will just be informational and fun. We have 37 who've shared. That's awesome.
Very good.
Great. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now and head back to Nancy. So thank you all for participating. Awesome. And we'll get rolling on to the rest of our PowerPoint.
Okay.
Okay, this is Crystal again. Just want to share the Early Childhood Support Network updates that we have at the moment. The first thing we want to share, good news about our newsletter. It will be coming out bi-monthly now. Due to so much information that's constantly coming in, we decided we would update everyone a little bit more frequently so we can catch dates and events and things before they've actually ended so they can make the calendar. So look for that to come out twice a month now. Is there a question? Okay. The news we have now, we actually have a website for the Early Childhood Support Network. It's called, well, you can find it at www.miECSN.org. This website is available now. We made it available due to the circumstances and things that are going on now. More information may be coming about the website, but there is information available on it now for you. So we want you to be able to take advantage for as long as we have these resources on this particular landing page. So on there, we're not gonna, maybe we will go there now. So one of the things that, one of the things that you can find on here is specifically for you all. We have a folder there that's labeled Parent Liaison, so it's easy for you to find. And on there right now, you'll find this family well-being guide that's actually up on the screen right now with tons of information and resources on there related to COVID-19. Along with this particular information that's in the folder for parent liaisons, the website actually houses additional information as it relates to COVID-19 as far as guidance and response and so forth. There's a contact page that lists all of our contacts from our various networks. So whether you're in Western, Southeast, Eastern, wherever you might be, you can find our contact information directly on the website as well. And one other thing that you might find helpful is a map of all the counties and how they're laid out by early childhood support network, so how they've been allocated. So that's helpful on that site as well. So I would encourage you to check it out, check out some resources, get information as you might need it while it's available for us. And as information changes with the website, we'll certainly keep you abreast of that. Okay. One other thing we want to give as far as an update, you might have heard already, there's been talk effective last week, the governor announced that there was Child Care Relief Fund grants available for licensed child care providers and licensed exempt child care providers. So we wanted to make that available and make you aware of it, just in case if families are talking about it as their little ones maybe in child care or looking for child care, things of that sort. There are grants available to basically keep the child care sites operating during this time. So this particular grant is non-competitive, and it's just a little something to help get providers through this hurdle that we're in right now without losing too many of them due to the circumstances. So definitely wanted to keep you informed about that. The web link for that is on there, and providers can apply immediately for it. For licensed providers, they can apply up to 3 times for this grant, and licensed exempt providers, it's a one-time only grant. So still very much worthwhile, and we're certainly encouraging all of our providers to apply for it and take advantage of those funds. Finally, our last update, we want to share some information with you that became available to us by way of the MSU extension. And this is unfortunately the final week for it, unless it resumes at a later date, where they have activities on their site, and some of it is through live video feed, or some of it might be recorded, but resources for families that they can take advantage of, activities for the children, information for the adults, and just things that they can take advantage of currently while we're abiding by the stay-at-home order. So as we're looking for more activities and things to do with the children, this will be a spot to go, and just for some relief for families. So it's something you can certainly share with your parents. The final day this week will be Friday, and as you can see on the screen, it kind of lays it out on the activities and the times and things that are available, starting with early childhood and working your way down to just healthy living practices. So I would encourage you to check it out, and if you can, share with your families. Like I said, it's only a few more days left, but it's some great, cool, neat things on here that they might be interested in. So we definitely want to pass along information that will help our family. So, and I think this was the final thing for updates.
Thank you, Crystal. And I noticed there were some questions in the chat, and looks like we're also providing some answers. So
perfect.
Can a child care provider apply for these grants if they don't have any essential families?
Yes.
A couple of yeses on that.
And there are some, there is a frequently asked questions sheet included on the web link. If you go there, the answers that question, but they certainly can. This is anybody that's licensed, whether they're currently open or not. So yes.
Thank you. And another question, where is the link located? And that link is right on this slide right here. That is the link. You can click that, or you can write it down and go to it. It is also on, it should be on the ECSN website, but it is also on the MDE website.
Yes.
It looks like we have someone saying that they work part-time for MSU Extension, and MSU Extension is planning more events within the next month.
Awesome.
Rachel's
Thanks for sharing that.
So, okay, we're going to keep going. So now we're going to give you a little bit of time to participate in groups and share some more information with each other. You'll have about 20 minutes to do this next activity. I'm going to kind of go over what's on the screen and then stop sharing to put you, actually I cannot have to stop sharing. I can put you in breakout rooms while I read it. While you're in your rooms, I'm going to ask that you share what you've been doing to encourage community engagement and connect with families. And then what has been successful, and did it work as well as you had hoped? Also, while you're there, share your name and your county, and in your breakout room, please identify one member to kind of record the big ideas and share them in the chat when we come back. We will ask maybe a couple people to share out verbally, but most of the sharing out will happen in the chat box for this particular activity. Okay, here we go. So hold on with me just a minute. I need to make sure that I've done this correctly.
Also, I did.
I was going to say, someone wants to share something while I'm doing this, that would be great.
Yeah, so if anybody happens to have pencil and pen, sometimes it's hard to remember the question. When we go into breakout rooms, if nobody has done this before, we'll be directed to our room as soon as Nancy is done assigning them. And then when we get into our room, we'll all be together, just 5 of us, 6 of us, depending on how many rooms Nancy is doing. And then nobody else will be able to see that. So everybody that's in their own rooms will have their own conversation. And that's why when we come back out, it'll be important for us to share in the chat box because it will be just this small little group of us, and it's super cool. When you're in the chat room, just to give you another tip, when Nancy pulls us all back together, you'll see a message that will say rooms are closing in 60 seconds. If for some reason we do finish up a minute or two early, we are able to go back into the main room, and you'll see that on your screen. So if you have any questions about that, you can ask one of your TA people that will be in the room with you.
Okay, see if there's any questions about how that's going to work. Okay.
And someone did ask about us sharing the slides, and I said we would be happy to share.
We can share the slides with those that registered for the call via email. We're not able to post them on the website because of ADA compliance issues. So if you would like the slides and you didn't register, send me an email, and my email is on the last slide, and you will be able to get those. Okay, I'm going to open all the rooms now.
Awesome.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, if the recorder for your group will type in the chat, kind of some highlights, and then I will invite a couple people to share. Take a few minutes for that. If you'd like to share, if you will just raise your hand or maybe use the hand feature. Not sure how I'm going to see people, so sounds like the room kind of cut people off. Sorry about that. It does give you a minute, but sometimes we haven't wrapped up our thoughts in that amount of time. So is there anyone willing to share?
I will go ahead and share something. One of the things that we talked about that everyone is using a lot of Facebook and the social media pieces, and they've heard great response from families that they would like it to continue, maybe even after the stay-at-home order is lifted. It tends to make things easier on some parents. So that was one request by multiple people.
Nice. You know, we've started doing some of that for early on as well. So, and maybe that's something this group might want to also have as a Facebook page to share amongst each other. It's been mentioned, but it is something that we haven't offered yet. So thank you for sharing that. One other person want to share out?
I'd be happy to share out what our group talked about. We had a wide range of just involvement and just talking about trying out some things and learning what the families were able to respond to the most, whether it was technology issues, that type of thing, but also what was the best way of communication. And most have learned that a mixed mode of communication has worked best. Not everyone has Facebook, but not everyone has Zoom, or some people don't even have internet type of thing. But how best to meet the family's needs. In addition, we talked a lot about just ramping up and trying to get parent cafes started. What's the best mode for that? Strengthening families type of thing. We had one person share that they're even doing weekly play groups over Zoom, which was, a neat idea. And one person shared that they do a community calendar and just providing different resources and things around the community that, parents can log on to every day. And, this is a scavenger hunt. This is, these are different things and opportunities and resources in the community of what to do during this time while you're home with your kids. We also did have someone share that they're really looking for getting some bilingual resources and how to hold the parent cafes, dual language, that type of thing. So if anyone, has any resources for that, please share in the chat box, because I'm sure others are looking as well. But just really about keeping stress low for families right now, providing resources, helping them feel involved, but not stressed out about it.
Nice, some great resources. Thank you both for sharing, and thanks for entering all of your information in the chat as well. We wanted it in the chat because we will be downloading that chat, and we will be sharing that with all of you along with the slides, all of those of you that registered. I did want to share a couple more things with you. We are running short on time, so there's one piece that I wanted to share with you. This memo came out yesterday in relation to the 32P and 32P4 Great Start Collaborative and Great Start Parent Coalitions from Dr. Scott Konishnik. Like I said, it came out yesterday. I was not working yesterday. I had some personal things to attend to, so I have not had a chance to read it, but wanted to make you all aware that it is available to peruse through, and we will certainly be reading it and providing technical assistance on it as we learn more about what its meaning is for all of you. But wanted to make you aware of that particular piece. Let's see. I'm looking in the chat to see what's been mentioned here. Okay, I'm gonna go on down and share my slides again, talk about some of the trauma-informed care pieces that all of you, some of you had asked about. I'm going to turn it over to Maria to kind of share about some of these resources. Maria?
So we've heard from quite a few PLs, parent liaisons, that they are interested in having resources for toxic stress and trauma for young children to share with their families. So we've compiled some good resources here and links to those sites. The Center on the Developing Child at Harvard University has some really good resources on toxic stress and trauma, how to cope, some resilience. They have videos that are really good as well. The National Child Traumatic Stress Network has some has a really good infographic on how COVID relates to child development, as well as how to help children with traumatic separation or traumatic grief related. Michigan Department of Health and Human Services has some great social emotional material for your use. And the CDC website also has some very good information on the ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences, and some good resources. There are also a couple great webinars coming up through the Office of Head Start. We've included a link to registration for the May 12th from classroom settings. The second one, which is happening on June 11th, Preparing for Challenging Conversations with Families. We did not include a link because that registration is not up yet, but there was a webinar just yesterday, and that there was a webinar from Head Start yesterday, and they do plan to have that webinar coming up. The link just isn't posted yet for that to register. So, but we wanted to make you aware of all those resources and the upcoming webinars that might be of assistance to you and or your families. So great opportunities to share. So check those out. You might be able to pull specific things off of those to share with your families and or make them aware of all those great resources.
Thank you, Maria. I also noticed in the chat, someone had put the web address for the Great Start Collaborative Parent Liaison Facebook page. Thank you for that. I'm glad everyone was able to get that information. If you aren't a part of that group, you might want to consider being a part of that if you are on Facebook. It's always helpful to be able to share with people that are in similar positions what's going on across the state. Brenda, did you want to share a little bit about some of our upcoming events?
I'm unmuted, excuse me. So some upcoming dates. I know that Maria just shared a couple of webinars with you specific to trauma-informed practices. So those are some great resources. Also, Thursday, May 14th, we have our Michigan League for Public Policy webinar, and the link to register is right there. Lots of great information. MLPP is the acronym for that. So if you ever hear that, that's the Michigan League for Public Policy. And then on Tuesday, June 9th, we also have the Michigan League for Public Policy, Understanding, Using, and Communicating Your Local Data. Some great information about how to just share out data in a useful, readable way type of thing. And then that webinar will also be repeated on June 10th, so you can choose which date you would like to attend if either of those work better for you. And then, not sure of the format yet, but at the moment, Wednesday, August 5th is going to be the Great Start Network statewide convening. So obviously the plans of that have changed a little bit, but the plan right now is still to have everyone involved, parent liaisons, directors, but we're just not sure of the exact format yet. So more information to come.
All right, as we wrap up, it's time for some reflections and sharing. Again, thank you guys for being on the call. It went really, really fast, but I know from our group, we had a really awesome, productive conversation, and really glad that we're able to start networking and helping you guys out as much as we can as TA and TA specialists. So if you guys can go back to your Menti meter, menti.com, the next thing we're going to do is a word cloud. So what gift would you hope that this quarantine time would have developed for your parent coalition? And you can type up to 3 words. So if you're back in your menti.com, you'll have your code 430284, and then you can have 3 words that you can enter. So we're just going to take a minute or 2 for people to participate. I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see the word cloud grow. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to share that right now. Just give me just a second. Here we go. And we'll watch this grow as everybody participates. I'm going to put my words in right now. Awesome. Oh, we've got connection coming up. Words may be used multiple times, and the words that you see in this word cloud that are bigger are coming up multiple times. So the words that stay big are the words that multiple people are using. So connection right now is one of our biggest words, which is awesome. I'm submitting mine right now. This is great. Collaboration, mindfulness, flexibility, connection, that's still huge. You can see some of the little ones: quality time at home, family time, compassion. We have 28 people who have shared so far, so we'll give you another minute or two to get your 3 words in. That looks so pretty.
This is a wonderful activity. Thank you, Rachel, for putting it together. It's so cool to see all the words come up.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Everyone's thinking of.
Yes, understanding, that's a great one. Flexibility is huge. Ooh, story walks. I see that in there. That's an awesome idea.
Flexible approaches.
All right, we have 31 participating. 31. So just before I close out here, thank you guys again for participating in this cool little ending for us. I am able to save this picture. So once we get everybody in and voted, I'll save the picture and I'll send it to all of us. I'm going to stop screen sharing just in essence of time. We're coming to the end and we have a couple more slides we want to share with you. So thanks again.
Okay, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. So here's our contact information. I'm going to bring up the chat because I did notice some questions in there. We have some questions that I'd like to know how to do this. So Rachel will share that information with those that of you that have registered today so that we can let everyone know how to do that. I also want to learn how, something I haven't learned yet, but plan on using it in a Zoom call shortly. So be learning how. She'll share that with all of us. See, also, if you'd like to join the Facebook group, it's important to fill out the questions so that you can be approved. So that's from our Livingston County Parent Liaison. Is it Brianne Green? I hope they said that correctly.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you for that. We have a few minutes before the end of our hour. If there's anything people would like to share, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just kind of open it up for conversation. If there are things that people want to share, things that went well today, things you'd like to hear about on a future call, so that we can plan accordingly. I'm getting some messages that some people didn't receive the confirmation email today, and I apologize for that. I emailed my tech person as soon as I heard that from a couple of you to find out what's going on, because before I had assumed it was something to do with the large number of people that registered, like for the Christy Pretty-Franczak videos or webinars and stuff, we had a huge number of people registering, and so I thought maybe there's a glitch in our system or something, but today we had 40 people register, which is a moderate number. Still a good number, don't get me wrong, but it shouldn't overtax our system. So we're looking into that to see what's going on. I will also be making sure that I send reminders out a variety of different ways, like through the website as well as through my Gmail account. So that all of you will be sure that you get things like that. And I really apologize for that. Sometimes there's just glitches in the system, and we hope to get them figured out. And I'm glad that you made it on, Holly, today. So I'm sorry for that error, but I'm super glad that you made it on today. Thanks for joining us. Yes?
I think on my behalf, it was, I did not follow the instructions to the form in the original email, and it was just a little confusing the way I was supposed to register. I just wasn't used to the system.
Okay.
So that was more on my part. I jumped in a couple of minutes late and was asking for the link to the meeting, and I just missed a couple of steps. So forgive me for that.
No worries. Thanks for letting me know. Feel free to reach out at any time. We can help you with any of that stuff. We know that this is new, and new always takes time to get used to. As you could see me kind of stumbling in the beginning using slides, we generally use the PowerPoint in my other presentations. I'm not as comfortable or used to Google Slides, and that's what we presented in today, and it's something new, and so it happens to all of us. So it's just the way of our world, learning as we go. So thank you for that, Jen. Any other comments people want to make? Any other sharing? Any things you really liked about today's call? Things you'd like to see us do in the future? My Faith, I see that little baby. So cute.
Can I share just a moment?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask how often you plan on doing this?
In our work plans, it says that we would be doing a quarterly meeting. So we'd be doing it in another, the next quarter. Is there a need or want to do it more often than that?
I feel like with everything that's going on, we may need more support than that.
Okay.
Yes, and we had that 20 minutes went by so fast we didn't all get a chance to talk.
Okay. All right, then yes. If other people agree, you either can turn your self on and say so, or type in the chat. But yeah, we can meet as a team and see if we can't offer them more often then. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to share too, because I was in a group with Brianne. It was such a great, productive conversation. So I did appreciate the time, even as a TNTA for the support network, to hear from them and also be able to share. So maybe even next time, Brianne, we could do smaller groups in our breakout sessions.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, anything else people would like to bring up for today?
I think just overall, as an overall group of statewide parent liaisons across the state, most of us enjoy talking and getting to know one another. So I don't think that will ever be an issue.
Well, you know, that's one of the things that we miss the most about being able to have training, since we haven't had a training to attend in a while, is that is the most important time for us to network and talk about what works for us and what works for them. And just those in-between times between the training are invaluable, and we don't have that opportunity. So I know that I would appreciate having that more often.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of those types of things, Brianne, as far as trying to connect in different areas, people more regularly to Zoom meetings and virtual meetings. So totally understandable that it would be needed here as well. And I appreciate the question. Definitely see what we can do about offering that. Okay, well, we've come to the end of our time together. I agree, I'm reading what's in the chat. Thank you everyone for joining today, and we'll get this recording up on our website. We'll get a copy of the slides with all the links in it and stuff to all of you that have registered, and I'll also review the chat to make sure if there's anything else that we committed to sending out to you, that we get it out to you in a timely manner. So thank you all for being part of our group today, being on the call, and we will certainly pull together and get something scheduled again in the next month or so, maybe sooner, depending on what all of my colleagues can do and what I can do. And we'll pull you together to have some more conversation in the very near future. Thanks so much. Great to see everyone today.
Feel free to contact us if you need anything.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day.